from Blokees. It is the Galaxy version 09, our darkest hour. Yes, this is the latest set celebrating Transformers the movie and Transformers in general, but this one is called our darkest hour because obviously a lot of it has to do with Transformers the movie. And I would like to give a great big shout out to Blokees for sending me these model kits for free so I could review them for you. Of course, link in the description, but you can go to blokees.com and get these and the previous sets. They don't run out. So I've got 9 new figures, plus some bonuses to go over with you from this latest Blokees set. So, if you're new to the channel, I'm Captain Kyle. Welcome aboard. If you've been watching for a while, thanks for coming back. Very cool of you. And now to check out our darkest hour. Oh, but first, be right back. So I could unbox every single one of these, put them together, show you how every single joint goes into place. Building these kits would be fun. That'd be a very long video. So instead, I've already done it. So we have Jetfire, Thrust, Mirage, Springer, Arcee, Bombshell with an itty bitty kickback, Trypticon. I think it's kind of the law that I have to say it that way. We have Planet Mode, Unicron, and a brand new version of Megatron, leader of the Decepticons. It's over, Prime. So I was not lucky enough to get a chase figure, but I am going to go through all these figures one by one, and the first one I want to go over is Jetfire, because Jetfire himself was never in the movie. Now I actually got a little bit confused because I'm like, didn't we just have a Jetfire? But we did in the Defender set. The last Defender set, the Traitor to Tyranny, had Jetfire featured in it, but now we have the full-size Galaxy figure, who's like 4 1/4 inches tall. This model doesn't wear a swimsuit, but this is kind of a bit of an odd one out because he does not actually appear in the movie. In fact, he disappeared from the cartoon much earlier than season 3, though there is of course some sightings of him in the episode Dark Awakening, where all these Autobot ships were getting blasted out of the sky because, well, watch the episode. But he's actually not in the movie himself, though maybe he was supposed to be. There were a few figures that were supposed to appear in the movie, and they had sketches drawn, storyboards of them, and things that they were going to do, but they never came to fruition. Now, I did find somebody, and I can't remember his name offhand, but I'll put the name of the channel down here, but they went through and they animated all the storyboards that did not initially get used in the movie. So he might have been in one of those storyboards, but I am not sure. But I'm gonna grab the Turntable of Doom so you can see him from all angles. And as you can see, he is well put together. Obviously, he is the cartoon model and not based on the toy, which was, you know, Robotech EF1S. But he's pretty cool. His gun, which is gray, has double barrels. Reminds me a little bit of the Siege, but the Siege, of course, is based on his cartoon model as well. Lots of nice detailing on him. His Autobot symbol, not a Decepticon. I am an Autobot now. And as with most Blokees, I'm not going to go through the posability on all of them, but I mean, he can pretty much do a full Jean-Claude Van Damme. Now, these newer Blokees have double jointed knees, so you can actually bend the knee and bend the leg to that extent. And you can also carefully swivel the legs. If you go too quickly, you might pop off the leg, which you don't want to do. But he does have swivels there, a little bit of an ankle swivel in the feet, bends at the knee like way a lot, kicks forward and back, side kicks like super side kicks, can even twist at the waist, though with his jetpack and the nose cone, you do have to be a little careful, but it will twist around. Just, you know, push his nose forward a little bit, but it comes back. His nose can kind of come up like that, so, you know, that's built into the design, and then you can push it back in if you want. And the arms would go all the way around were it not for his wings, so the wings do have some mobility, and they move together. They are hooked in quite cleverly inside, bends at the elbow, swivels, of course, can go out to the side. The fists, of course, turn due to the nature of how you attach them. Usually I use an open hand and a fist because they have those options, but in this case, I just use the fists. His head can turn all the way around, though looking backwards, he can't see anything through his jetpack. He does come with his collector card, very shiny. So I have to say the purple on the Autobot symbol on the back lead me to think shattered glass, but this is obviously not the shattered glass version. But a very posable figure, very well done. They have dispensed with the bases, but the additional articulation in the knees and just overall, they just keep getting more and more clever all the time. So that is the first of the Blokees to show you. And this next one also was not in the movie. Wasn't until 5 Faces of Darkness that we met up with Trypticon. And it's a very cool version of Trypticon. You can see he's got the whole dino mode thing going on, the spike coming out of his head, the gun here, and he's got a movable tail. Now, he's not going to be able to do a Jean-Claude Van Damme, but the feet can move, and the legs can move back and forth. The feet tilt a little bit forward and back, a little bit side to side too. So you can put him actually in a wide stance. His arms can move and he can swat at things. His mouth does open, his head can come off, but it can also turn from side to side, in fact, all the way around. He does have his weapons that you can flip over his shoulders and he can be firing them. As I mentioned, his tail moves up and down, side to side. He basically can twerk. Is twerking still even a thing? I don't even know. He does have swivels in his elbows on his forelimbs. And just to kind of scale him, this was from a previous set, but we can face him off against Metroplex, who did appear in the movie just as a city. He never transformed. No transformation cog, I'm guessing. So these two titans can battle. It's really well done. Of course, in scale to the other Blokees Galaxy versions, he is not nearly big enough. But still, to display on your shelf, you can go with like the Dr. Wu version of Trypticon. And of course, he does have a card right there, very shiny, showing him in his form. And so yeah, that is the very cool Trypticon, fully armed. There is one thing, though, I have to show you, because if you open up his chest, which has full tilt on it, for some reason there's a minifig that almost flew off the table, but it's basically full tilt, a very small gray figure. Kind of reminds me in scale of those itty-bitty figures that came with Behold the Galvatron. But you can open up his chest, little guys can go inside. But again, it is kind of funny that that is a very small full tilt when full tilt is right here. So a very cool figure, and we're gonna separate these two. I don't want them to mess at my table and fight, and, you know, somebody gets thrown in the ocean, and before you know it, you know, Octane's running around going to a really, really badly named Middle Eastern country. All right, next on our agenda, someone who didn't appear much in the movie, if at all. I know that he had some scenes that were not shown, but it is Mirage, and he's got a little blast effect that attaches to the end of his gun. Now, I'm not sure if he is seen on the base or any of the ships or in the background. I don't remember offhand. I need to really rewatch the movie. It's been too many weeks. But there was this whole drawn-out scene where he was causing some mischief for the Decepticons. So, but give him a spin on the turntable of doom, and again, just like pretty much all the others, he can Jean-Claude Van Damme his way just about. And his arms can go all the way around. His shoulders are interesting because they kind of turn because of the sides of his vehicle mode, which obviously he doesn't actually transform. And he's got his handy missile launcher on his shoulder. And he just overall looks really good. Nice deco, looks just like the cartoon version. Of course, Cliffjumper would be like, Mirage is a traitor. I'm no traitor. I'm a spy. But for the good guy's side, I don't need rest. I need Coke to drink, you know, by Coca-Cola. What did you think I was saying? Just because it's from the 80s. But yeah, a really well done piece. He's got his kind of wheel things on these parts, kind of wheel covers or whatever. Kind of a hint of a wheel, not really a wheel. And of course, his shoulders can go up and down. He can shrug. He can go hunting turbo foxes, whatever he wants to do. But there you have Mirage. And if you prefer him without his blast effect, the gun still looks really good. And there's his collector's card. Itty bitty collector card. Next, we're going to go with Thrust, the Decepticon who got knocked for a loop by Optimus Prime. And he is very well done. Now, I will say the directions show putting his wings in the opposite direction. I looked at that after doing it and I said, nope, and I pop them off and I put them in this direction because this is more cartoon accurate, having the wingtips up, even if it does make his Decepticon symbols turn upside down. That was with a lot of Seekers. But I've loved the Conehead so far. They've come out with the Galaxy sets. And again, with his double jointed knee, he could kneel down and blast. He is just well put together. And yes, he's a Conehead, just like Dan Aykroyd. If you don't know what I'm referring to, then sigh. His wings actually can move a little bit back and forth. You can even kind of move them up and down a little bit. Like I said, if you prefer to go by the directions, then the wings would be turned the other way. You just pop them off, pop them in on opposite sides so that they're facing the other way, but I prefer this particular way because again, it's more cartoon and actually more toy accurate. So Blokees doesn't generally fall down on this stuff, but I think they set them up a little bit differently than they should have maybe, but then again, you have the option of switching around the wings. So, and he is about 4.5 inches tall. So I do want to jump back to Trypticon real quick because he is a little bit bigger. He is a dinosaur. He's like 4.25 inches tall, but he's just bulky. If you go from tip to tail, he's like 5. Next one I want to talk about is Arcee. Now, Arcee is one of those characters who did not get a toy for like 14 years, and then it was a Beast Wars one. Didn't get this style of toy for many years, other than other model kits. This one's a lot less expensive and more available than the original model kits that were put back way back during the day, and certainly much more affordable than any missing Link Arcees. But she, again, has great posability. You can see she's got some nice decal on her stomach area, Autobot symbol on her chest. She's a little more likely to fall over because she's got thinner legs and smaller feet than a lot of the other ones, but she does look very good. Now I'm looking at her waist, and she actually has on the back an Autobot symbol that says GV0903 underneath it, and a tramp stamp that says copyright 2025 Hasbro, all rights reserved. So unless I assembled this wrong, which I don't think this was a separate piece, but I don't have the instructions in front of me. But again, very posable, very much like the movie version of the character. Liable to fall over, yep, but a very cool version of Arcee. Now, I thought we were done with bases, but there needed to be a base for this particular one, which is Unicron, who is in diameter a little over 5 inches. Well, width-wise, a little over 5 inches top to bottom, 4.25, and then he's got the base because he doesn't have any feet to stand on. He doesn't have any feet to stand on, but it is a very cool version of Unicron, obviously not in scale to the other figures, because this would take up the size of, well, several houses in my neighborhood. But what is kind of cool about this is it flexes, trying to consume my finger. But if you push in, this is flexible, and you can actually see the horns of Unicron move in, or you can push on the horns and you can see this piece will actually move in. So it's kind of a neat additional gimmick for him. And he's got all the spikes and the ring, and he's just a very cool representation of Unicron. Oh, you think I'll call him Mini-Me? That is what my Hasbro one is saying over there. HasLab. But it's a great model of the Devourer of Worlds. I mean, that's what he does. So you're gonna get in a fight with Galactus? That'd be hilarious. Could you imagine Galactus trying to eat Unicron? Or vice versa? I mean, Galactus is kind of, according to Fantastic Four, smaller compared to Unicron. It's, you know, his devices and such that are a lot bigger. But there you have Unicron, and I'm realizing I forgot to show a couple cards. There's Thrust. There's Arcee's card. And Unicron. So we're 2/3 of the way through, and next is the guy who's got better things to do tonight than die. It is Springer. With his sword, no gun, but looking very cool. Again, all the same posability, bending at the knee, very cool sword, very posable. And you can see he's got these things on the back that, I don't know, is that for his car mode? Is that for his helicopter mode? I mean, you got kind of little wheels on the side of his legs for his car mode, his sword for helicopter mode. I don't know, but he is very well put together. You can see he's got this yellow detailing on his shoulders. And again, super posable. And, you know, he's with Arcee, which is not what we thought initially. We figured, you know, I think Hot Rod had a little crush, but she wanted someone who wasn't quite so headstrong. And, you know, he's just, it's like he's built. Don't want to mess with him. All right, so last couple I want to go through, there's some bonuses involved. So obviously we have Bombshell. This is a great kit, great to put together. It comes with its little bitty buddy Kickback, and obviously a very cool representation. So I just popped his arm off. Again, model kits, that happens. Can take those off. And of course, he was only in the first part of the movie. He's Cyclonus or his Armada, one of the two. There is so much debate about that stuff, but I think Bombshell is the corpse. I think he'd expired by that time because honestly, Cyclonus' personality, nothing like that of Bombshell, and therefore Bombshell wasn't a very loyal Decepticon to Megatron, whereas Cyclonus, at least in season 3, super loyal to Galvatron. But because he is the third of the Insecticons we put out in the Galaxy set, I figured I would show him with his 2 Insecticon comrades. So we'll back this up a little bit so you can see the Insecticons. Sometimes it seemed like Bombshell was the leader, but who can say? They seemed more like a cooperative, like a hive mind, because they're bugs. Don't look like Demogorgons at all. But those are the 3 large-size Insecticons. Great to complete the set. But I also wanted to show the very small-size Insecticons. Now these and the Defender versions are things that Honor likes to grab and run away with. So I've had to retrieve a couple Blokees from her, and I hope I haven't missed any. But yeah, right before this video, Honor grabbed this and was like running around with it. Luckily I got it back, and I'm surprised she's not coming up on the table to try to get one of these guys. But yes, he is a Transformer fan. So with all the Insecticons, you get one of their buddies in smaller form. Now, fun fact, fun with flags. No, fun fact, while on the show, they basically transformed and were giant insects. In the comic book, they transformed and became the size of insects. So Bombshell was able to hook into, I think it was with Optimus Prime, and he was able to siphon some creation matrix energy. So yeah, kind of interesting that in the cartoon, Megatron becoming a gun, Soundwave becoming a cassette player, not a problem. But when it came to the Insecticons, they kept them at full size. I guess, you know, fight Dinobots and stuff like that. And here's the cards for Springer and Bombshell. Yeah, you thought I forgot. Yeah, I did. And the final one is Megatron. Yes. This Megatron comes with the laser sword he used to slash Prime. He has the much better joints in the knees. But you might be saying to yourself, Self, what am I talking about? No, you might be saying to yourself, Self, wasn't there already a Megatron in the Galaxy version? And yes, there was. So I broke him out. And I think what Blokees figured is because they are commemorating the movie, it was worth creating a new one because there are some distinct differences. The head is more movie accurate, more cartoon accurate. You can see the Decepticon symbol's a little smaller, and the deco on his torso, a little bit different. He also has more color in these sections, and the original fusion cannon had an open end on the back. This one has a closed end on the back. They still both have nozzles, but I just think the detailing is a little more refined on the new one. Nothing wrong with this Megatron, not throwing him out. He's a great kid as well, but I just think that the new Megatron, who just fell over, has a little bit nicer of molding and deco, and it's subtle things, but overall, I think it makes it a much cooler version of Megatron. Just fix your fusion cannon there. And when I first discovered Blokees, I found them in a store, and I ended up getting Thundercracker, Bluestreak, and Prowl, whereas my friend got a Megatron, and I was kind of jealous. But then obviously I got my own Megatron, so no need to be jealous. But this one, he should be jealous of, because he just looks nice. I am in my ultimate form. Power up! Now there's a Chase figure. I did not get the Chase figure, who is kind of like a half reformatted version of this Megatron. So there you have them, Blokees Galaxy Wave 09 Darkest Hour. And of course there is a link in the description where you can go to the Blokees website to get these wonderful figures. If they haven't been listed yet, then they will be very soon. Well, a very cool set of kits that make some great tributes to the movie and other characters. And again, I want to thank Blokees for sending these to me at no cost, and also changing the way they did the joints because the old way hurt my fingers. I think they're very fun, and one of these days I'm just gonna have to do a video down of all my Blokees together. But yeah, I find Blokees tons of fun, and if you're having fun, by all means, feel free to subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. That'd be great. And while you are mulling over these particular Blokees, you can actually check out the Action Edition 04 Orion packs from Transformers 1 right over here from Blokees. And Paul makes an appearance right at the end. He just wants everyone out there to have fun and good hunting, right?